April 14th, 2026, and this is the study session of the West Valley School District Board of Directors. I am calling it to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And James is here. Thank you. We're actually all here. Haley Larson is out of town, but she's joining us by phone today. And Dr. Finch, any changes to the agenda?
No changes to the agenda for the study session.
Communications?
No communications.
Okay, discussion items. Could you
All right.
introduce our guests?
This is our annual meeting here for a study session where we have three of our departments give an update, give an overview of the department, tell us what they've been working on this year and plans for the future. So we have the same template. We'll do that here this study session, and then actually the same template that we have for our next study session. And that will give us a nice overview of all the operational support that we have for the school district. We've got about 15 to 20 minutes for each person. We want to be able to adjourn the study session at 5:55, or 6:55, so we have a little 5-minute break there before the regular meeting. So just remember that as we're doing the question and answer. It is a study session, so a little less formal than a school board meeting, and a chance for you to get to know our departments and get to know our personnel and just have some good question and answer that you might have. We'll start first with our facilities department. Jack McCaskill is a little under the weather, so Blake Scully is going to fill in as our assistant director. Blake will give us, like I said, an overview of the department, what they've been working on this year, and then plans for the future. After Blake, then we'll have Jeremy Cox with our IT department, information technology. And after Jeremy, we'll have Candy Parmentier, our director of finance. So Blake, go ahead and take it away.
Good evening. I'm Blake Scully. I'm the assistant director of the facilities department. I'm just going to give you a brief overview of our department. Did you all of you can see the slides? Or?
Mhm.
Okay, perfect. So basically, this is how our department is made up of 52 full-time employees and 17 part-time employees. There's probably about 15 or so at the facilities office, and the rest are spread throughout the schools, the custodial staff. We also have 17 part-time employees. Our staff is responsible for, our groundsmen specifically are responsible for maintaining over 160 acres of district property, all the watering, all the maintenance on that. All of our custodial staff and all of our staff are responsible for almost 1 million square feet of overall building space between all of our buildings and schools. This year so far, we've had we're at about 2,200 work orders submitted from the district employees of different things wrong throughout the district that we've I think I looked and it was about 95% have been completed. The other 5% are generally bigger ticket items that take a little bit longer. Along with that, we've had over 2,200 preventative maintenance work orders as well. Anything from HVAC to fire sprinklers to you name it, everything that has to be done every year, every month on these buildings to make sure they're safe and usable. So for this year, these are kind of the main big highlights of what we've done this year. We've done several LED lighting upgrades. The reason we're doing this is because one, it's hard to get fluorescent bulbs anymore. And two, the cost savings, and Pacific Power also has a grant program, so we get some money back from Pacific Power for doing that. This year so far, we've done the middle school cafeteria and some hallway lights around there, kitchen and offices, and then the White Hollow gym. So I believe all of the gyms throughout the district are now LEDs, and most of the large areas like the commons areas and everything else are upgraded to LEDs. And then, so the estimated savings of electricity is $106,000 so far with these upgrades. Other upgrades that have been recently completed or nearing completion are replacement of the HVAC heater and boiler, or the boilers and chillers at Cottonwood and White Hollow. Those were both 30 plus years old and just breaking down all the time and not energy efficient. So those have been upgraded and replaced. I don't know if any of you have been to the junior high auditorium since it's been upgraded, but
Looks good.
yeah, it looks really good. It really makes the orange around the base of the stage stand out. So I did notice that when I walked in the other day. The other thing that just got completed over spring break is the 2 curtains in the junior high gym got replaced. So those were the original ones to school. So they are much more functional now. Break a lot less.
They haven't broke yet, right?
They haven't broken. No, they have not broke yet. Other repairs, just kind of basic repairs to septic systems. Cottonwood has some issues. Just maintenance stuff like that nobody really thinks of until you notice it and need it. The other major project we've done this year is the Washington State's Department of Health's Safe Schools, like the lead program, basically. Within the last month or two, we just met 100% compliance, so we're all good there. Lots of fixtures have been replaced, most by I think all by our in-house plumber. So keeping the cost down there, not having to hire contractors. Looking into the future, the big project this summer is the piping replacement at the junior high. That's going to be the big one. That's going to take a lot of effort this summer. So, and much needed. Those pipes are original and they're very old. They're kind of like human arteries, so they kind of shrink as you get older and things happen to them. So, let's see some other things. Installing an air quality monitor at Mountain View. Hopefully replace some of the aging asphalt. The buses are hard on asphalt and equipment after so many years, and so is the sign. So hopefully replace some of that. Get rid of the trip hazards. Looking forward more. We're hoping to get the secondary school's gym floors ground down and professionally refinished, because our staff does it every summer. But they say like every 10 years, it's better to go all the way down to the wood and refinish everything. And none of our schools, to my knowledge, have had that done, including the junior high. So that's something that we're hoping to get done. And then obviously continue with the LED lighting upgrades. That's kind
Hey
of,
Blake, I had a question on the repair of the roof at the junior high. Is that a warranty thing?
no, the big repair at the roof at the junior high, it's not actually the roof itself. It's if you look at the junior high, around the roof, it's concrete capped, kind of like a CA room, and that's 40 years old, so the concrete's kind of disintegrating. So
Gotcha.
that's the biggest repair, is to go back and seal that up and repair them as much as possible.
For the piping at the junior high, do we have an estimate about how long that'll take?
It should take all summer. It's
Yeah,
right.
they're expected to be done by mid-August.
Okay,
That's the,
awesome.
before school,
Yeah.
kids get the building.
Just curious, how old is the tandem roof? Do you know?
A tandem roof is old. It's probably 30, 40 years old at
Really?
least. It's old. It's old. The like asphalt shingles, it's
Oh, yeah.
disintegrating. So yeah, it's definitely the next school that needs a new roof.
Well, since that's on the list to be replaced, is there a repair instead of a replacement that would hold it over for a few more years?
Not really, just
Put a
because
new
it's
roof on it
so.
and tear the building down.
Yeah. I mean, not really. It's just because it's so spread out over the whole thing. You really have to do the whole roof anyway. It's not like if you go up there right now, it just is like a patchwork of repairs and different things from over the years of repairing leaks. It's kind of, there's not really any sort of cap you can put on it
What's the cost for that?
for the roof. Shoot, let's see, we did Cottonwood and White Hollow last year, and I think for both of them it was $1.5 million for both of them, so probably $600 to $700 a piece for both schools. Don't quote me, but that sounds about right. Awesome.
Thank you, Blake.
I have one more question, Blake.
Oh, yeah.
We often hire project managers from outside the district
Mhm.
to come in and help manage major construction projects. And I'm wondering, maybe this is a question for Jack, but if you guys have ever looked at hiring a project manager to do that work in-house and saving, because we pay a lot per hour and for travel and all
Right.
that. Has it ever been an analysis done of making that an employed?
I don't know
Okay.
off the top of my head.
Oh.
I don't know about before either, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know, Ryan? You're
I
new
don't-
too.
I don't know, but it would, for this particular project in the summer, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, but if we got back into a position where we had a bond and we had some buildings, I think that would be a good idea to explore at the very least.
The only other question, I'm not sure how to ask it, like you said, sidewalk repairs, things like that, on budgetary availability. I'm assuming those are things that are not unsafe right now.
Yeah,
'Cause-
it's like just a big one's like the concrete at the junior high.
Okay.
It just gets old and gets
Yeah.
asphalting and cracking and
Cause anything is a trip hazard, we fix right
Right,
away, right?
yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
How we doing? Jeremy, IT Director. Can I give you an idea of what my department looks like?
Thank you for fixing my computer.
I didn't do it technically, but my staff did, right? So there's myself, I have a network administrator who's also my coordinator. I have a system admin who does all of our systems. He does our servers, servers. He pretty much does everything. He's my go-to guy. That's Tyler. We have an operations guy, that's Sean. He is he does our backups and he helps facilitate and helps like basically our project type of things for our other two people, or other three people, the ITS3s. He's kind of like their lead for the most part. So he's kind of the doer of things. He's my guy, the guy that if I need to order something, if I need to do any of that type of stuff, he's that guy. We got a student record system admin. I don't know why I have a student record system admin, but I do. So she does all of our student records things. So I also supervise student records. So we have a student records person who does the student side of things, the registration, the curriculum masters, section master. I think that's right. And then we have Heather who does our staff side. She creates all the accounts, does the other side is the Skyward. There's a lot of stuff to Skyward trying to differentiate them in my head here. It makes sense. So she does all of that half of it. So if the new person, the new student records who does the student side and the course masters, the side of basically anything that has to do with the classroom. Heather does everything else. All of our student records that go out into our other systems are our online applications like ClassLink, iReady, Student Mifflin, HRW, all of the different things. She does all that. She's the one that facilitates getting all that data out of Skyward and into those other systems. I have a cybersecurity person, that's Caleb. He is our guru for all of that. So he runs our EDR, our endpoint detection management system. So he does all the Rapid7, all the log ingesting, stuff like that. So we can see when somebody clicks on a executable on a Windows machine, it goes into a logging server, and then we can report off that server and tell us who did what and when. Say that they get a virus, we know when the virus got hit, what it actually did, and we can see all the processes that were available to it and what it ran, and then we can execute actions upon that and quarantine the device or disable it or disable the user account, reset the password, that type of thing. So he does all that kind of stuff. Then I have 3 IT specialists. I have a Cooper Angel and I have a new person hopefully starting in soon. It's still kind of out there. I haven't finished the paperwork on that one yet. So we got a new one coming. Those 3 guys are the guys that do all the work in the department. They're the ones that go out to the buildings and repair the Chromebooks, pick them up. They're basically our hands and our faces of the IT department. So they're the ones that most people get to interact with. They're the people to do I'd say the most work, but they do the most physical work. So those are those guys. They're out there doing all the stuff, and they're our face. So, any questions on our people? All right. Kind of give you some idea of what we're dealing with. I'm a little more depressing this time around than normal, but this is kind of the status of the world right now. So, cybersecurity incidents are huge right now. According to CISA, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Administration, I believe it is. According to them, 82% of school districts in the last three years have been hit by some sort of cyber incident. We're no exception. We've been hit. We got hit twice this year. There were minor stuff that we were able to catch instantly and rectify, so no damage happened. But we were technically, it was an incident and it was resolved really quickly because we have all these tools that we do, and we have a cybersecurity guy who's out there doing these things. So that's a big deal. This is a scary thing. Attackers are moving at breakneck pace right now. So a couple years ago, it would take them a couple days to get to once they get into the network and then start to spread. Now it's 29 minutes, which is a crazy amount of time. So that you get compromised, and then within 30 minutes, you're not only compromised, now you're extracting data and they're locking up your systems and things like that. So huge increase. The fastest one observed 27 seconds. That's insane. So it's a little scary. So it's definitely something that keeps me up at night. Sort of important things to talk about. The chip shortage. So right now, 80 to 90% cost increases for Chromebooks. So last year we were looking at about $350 a Chromebook. The best quote I've gotten for a handful of Chromebooks is about $450. So big price increase. So I'm trying to keep up with these replacing 1,000 Chromebooks every year. We add another $150,000 to it. It's going to add up pretty quick, and it's hitting the budget pretty hard. So I will need help with that to replace Chromebooks. So there's that, and then the actual shortage. So there's actually a shortage actually happening. So trying to get our hands on devices is very difficult as well. So that's where we're at on that. So a little downer, I know. That's where we're at. Some cool things we've done. We've modernized our core network infrastructure. Which in the last 2 years, we replaced every single switch in our network with all brand new hardware. And those switches were put in by me in 2014, 15. So they were a decade old at that point. So for network equipment, like our firewalls and our switches, we get help. We get federal help. So we get E-rate funded stuff. So we're a high poverty district. So we get 80% of that cost that go the network equipment is covered by E-rate program. So you got a $100,000 switch, we're paying $20,000. So it's a pretty good savings, and it helps us be able to afford the equipment to be able to replace them when we can. The next thing we're going to be doing is we have E-rate just got finalized for it, and hopefully we'll get the funding letter sometime this next month or so for the wireless access points out at the secondary school. So a couple of years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, we replaced all the elementaries. And when we built these 2 new schools, we have new equipment in here. Now we're going to be replacing the high school ones. And those went in, they're 7 years old. So there's a 7-year life cycle on those access points. The reason why we do a 7-year life cycle is because the firmware is only supported for 7 years. So after 7 years, the vendor no longer supports them. We can't update them. So when there's errors, or we can't even manage them at that point because we manage them in the cloud. So that's where we're at on that. So we're in that cycle. So everything's good there. That again is also E-rate funded. So it helps us out so we can afford these nicer equipment and at 20% cost. See what else we did. We successfully support over 10,000 devices every day. So on our network, anytime we have devices from 2015, the cameras, or actually 2010, cameras for high school. We have devices that are from 2010 to brand new cutting edge leading technology stuff. Smart boards, projectors, cameras, phones. Phones from 2005 as well. Smart boards, sprinkler systems, HVAC systems, you name it, it's on there. So it's over 10,000 devices. So a lot of security concerns when you're talking about devices that are really old and not supported anymore, and lots of devices with little staff to kind of do that, to manage all those things. So it's a time consuming and daunting and stressful.
Hey, Jeremy, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I'm just curious, what is like the estimated timeline that you guys would be to the point where those things are updated? And then at that point, are you already outdated with other stuff? Is it kind of like a revolving?
It's always
door?
a revolving cycle, yeah. So we replaced all the phones. That just starts that clock on those phones. We still have cameras to replace, and then as soon as we replace those, it starts to clock over. So it's always something. There's always something going on. Intercom systems are really old. So we have all of our secondary schools. We can't integrate our Informacast, our messaging system into them because they're so old and they don't have the compatibility for it. So we can send alerts to all of our elementary schools, no problem, but none of our secondary schools can get the alerts to over the overheads. So there's some limitations there. So just like the roof. I mean, everything's got to be replaced, and so it's always cyclical and always takes money, right? So I could give you a list of things that we need to get rid of for the cameras, phones, intercom systems. Those are the big three right there. So if we can replace all three of those, that'd be a big step right there.
So you have a pretty good list as far as, I mean, not, I guess depreciation schedule, if you will, of, I mean, you know when things need to be replaced, so you have that whole schedule going.
Yeah. And whether we have the budget for them or not, that's a different story.
I get it, yeah, that's sort of why I'm asking.
Yeah, so we do all of our computers, we know when the cycle.
Candy's up next. So.
We have a computer for all of our cycle, we have cycle for all our computers, all of our Chromebooks, we know
Yeah.
the dates on all those. We have a 5-year life on the Chromebooks. It's about how long they last in the kid's hand.
Yeah.
Some of them not that, some of them days, but 5-year life cycle on those. So we try to, we do rotate them every 5 years. So kids get them in 3rd grade and 8th grade. So they get a brand new one in 3rd grade and 8th grade.
Yeah.
And then, they follow them up until those next grades. So they turn them in 8th grade. So those got the ones that got from 3rd grade turn in 8th grade, and then they graduate and they give them back to us. We part them out, and LCD screens are pretty much universal. They've been the same LCD screen since 2014 at least. So we part that out. Those are out, like gone quick. They break a lot. So LCD screens, our poor guys, they replaced about 1,000 of them a day. Seems like not really that many, but it's a lot. For sure, 1,000 of them in a year, for sure. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
For the Chromebooks, the 80 to 90% cost increase is probably only going to get higher as we go through. Is there a point where it becomes unobtainable to have them, or I like the refurbishing of the screens, but you probably can't extend the life of them very much longer?
Yeah, well, there's a window there. So we have all this online curriculum. If we don't have the device, we can't use the online curriculum, so then we have to revert back to that. So we're kind of in a spot where we have to buy them, but I'm looking at an option to maybe not buy 1,000 of them. We're only buy enough to keep us going for next year, and maybe hopefully the pricing goes down. When does it ever go down? I mean, I've never seen prices drop really. I mean, it just doesn't happen. And once they charge you the money, they're going to keep charging the money, right? So we could technically kick the can down the road and hope next year is better, and just replace maybe 500 of them or 300, depending on what we have. We have a little bit of a window where the Chromebooks that we currently have are still being supported for a couple more years, so we could potentially do it. I'm looking at that and seeing what the best option is.
Yeah.
See if we can beat up my vendors a little more and get some better discounts. I got them from $700 to $450. So that's a win. So
It's a big one.
we're looking at maybe there's going to be a kind of a bump in the next month where we might be able to get better pricing because some of the chip things didn't pan out. So I don't know. We're looking at. I'm constantly asking and constantly hunting and trying to get the right time to buy. So we'll do what we can, but it's just kind of where we're at. Any other questions on that?
Oh, I have a different question.
Okay.
Are you done?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, how do you, talk to me about how you limit access to what kids can access on the Chromebooks? Because I know there's a lot of things that kids get into and hack into. How do you stay on top of that?
Well, we have a couple of different products. We use a product called LineWise, which goes on every single device we have in the district. It does content aware filtering. It does image blurring. So if it'll actually look at the content on the screen, if it deems it inappropriate, if it's too much scan or it looks like it's too much violence, to some algorithm that's on their stuff. I don't understand it, but they've written a program to do it. It'll blur the image or it will block the page. So that's LineWise. It also looks at the keystrokes. So whether they type in a search query, it'll flag that and block that and notify administration. We also use a product called Bark, which goes out and looks in their drive for content. So if let's say they didn't use their Chromebook to upload an image to it, they use their phone and upload it to the Google Drive. It scans the Google Drive looking for inappropriate pictures, content, that type of thing in the actual drive itself. So, and then when it does that, it alerts the administration and they do what they do with it. So those are the two big things. We also have a firewall that we use, and we also have the external firewall that is it only works when they're on premise. So if they're outside the district, the line wise is always on any Chromebook. So that's what's always going. That's the first layer. And it's pretty good. There's a lot of blocking. Our firewall is, it's more of the Windows side of things. It's blocking all the same things that our content filter is doing, but doing by regions and other things like that. So a little more advanced than the internal firewall. So did that answer your question?
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe we could also talk about the cybersecurity
Yes.
tabletop, because that was so well done by your team and by our team, and just so professionally done. It was just so well organized and really made a good impact, I think, on our administrative team and how important cybersecurity is.
Yeah, so we did a tabletop exercise. We brought in all the administration staff. We broke them up into different groups and tackled different projects while we talked about an incident that was happening. I think we did an incident where we lost internet connection, we lost authentication, type of things. We targeted an incident where we lost all of our computers basically, and we talked about what would happen and what that looked like communication to staff, where no more students are communicating to parents, and all those different topics. So we did have a couple of things that came out of it. So actually the buildings went back and had their own action items and tackled them right off the bat. I think it was the next day they had them all knocked out. So it was pretty cool.
Cool.
So hopefully we can do that again sometime next year and just maybe target something different. And
Was
keep
that for
going
all
there.
the staff then?
No, that's for our administration staff.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So for staff, we use a product called CyberNut, which actually is a phishing simulation. So we send, actually it does it for students as well. We send them phishing emails, and if they click the report, then they get some acorns, and then they can answer some more questions and get more acorns, and it's kind of a gamifying solution for that. The next goal is to actually start building in some more curriculum for teachers, more teaching for teachers, to actually get them more aware of cybersecurity and all those different things that we need to tackle. Make sure that they're handling and seeing things and teaching the kids cybersecurity, good practices, good hygiene. We had an incident earlier this year where our finance department received it was the next day after the tabletop. What was it? Was a W-4?
Direct deposit.
Direct deposit, that's right. So they got a fake direct deposit scam, and our finance department caught it, asked the user, and then they were able to notify us, and we were able to figure out what happened and get it blocked. So that tabletop actually paid for itself right there.
Also in August, we have annual training for all
We do.
staff with cybersecurity.
And we do have cybersecurity on topic on that, among some other things, but yeah, we do talk about cybersecurity on there as well. All right, we'll go to the next slide. The future, we want to keep going on our cybersecurity posture. That's always my focus. Cybersecurity is a big thing. It's that year, these years that they're catching up faster than we can keep up. So keeping that on the top of my mind. Again, expand the training and reduce our sensitive data stored on premise and in cloud. So right now we don't have a great handle on our data stored on our servers. So we're trying to get that one kind of tightened in and get that fixed. We have processes, but it's not as good as I want it to be. How about that? With some challenges, rising costs of devices and limitation of availability, increasing costs to implement, secure, and monitor all this technology. More technology we put out there, the more complicated it is. We have to learn it and figure it out, trying to staff it and know how to have. This person has been doing IT for the last 10 years, gets a brand new piece of software. It's whole new world. So we have to learn all that. We have to spend the time to invest into learning all that. So it adds up and it gets tiring and it gets time consuming. We're having somebody learn a new role, new job, new software. Yet they lose that time doing the actual work that needs to be done because we have limited resources. So that's one of the things we constantly struggle with is the workload, that trying to keep that balance for us. And then we do outsource some of our security stuff. So our cybersecurity is actually outsourced to a Rapid7, which is our MDR. So they do a lot of the analysis. So they're looking at it 24/7, looking at all of the things happening on our computers. They get an alert, they notify us, and they take action on computers for us, and then we can help try to go down the incident response plan. So even with that, we're still trying to keep pace and keeping all the systems up to date, keeping all the pieces and puzzle to all in the right spot. It's a challenge. So that's where we're at on that. And then, yeah, we just need additional resources to maintain progress and manage risk. It's just, I mean, we're an IT staff in the school district, so all of us directors are gonna be the exact same thing. We're always understaffed. If you look at an actual, like, you know, business our size, with as many users and devices that we have, we'd have, you know, 60 to 70 IT staff. We have 8, 9 of us. I think it's 9 of us. So I don't count Heather. So so we do a lot with a little, and that's just the way it is. And then cybersecurity and technology landscape has become more complex, costly. So that's where I've got. Any other questions for me?
Thank you.
All right, sweet. Thank you.
I'm Candy Parmentier. I'm the finance director. I have a team of 5, so including myself. We have lead accountant, which is Amanda Candler. Payroll coordinator is Gilbert Sines. Accounting technician is Jennifer Crutch, and accounts payable is Marie Bush. So just a little bit about an overview. So we provide support and training to staff across the district. We oversee all the purchasing, accounts payable, receivable, and payroll to make sure we're compliant with all the state and federal guidelines. We process approximately 2,000 purchase orders annually, and each has to be reviewed for bid law, prevailing wage, restrictions, and then coding. We manage 46 procurement cards, and we monitor all purchases, approvals, coding in, and then screening them against fraud. We process approximately 9,000 invoices annually, making sure that each that is submitted has the backup that's needed, and all the charges are allowable. We as well administer around 800 payroll deposits monthly, and that doesn't really include our timesheets and the processing of substitutes as well. So just what we kind of oversee, grants and donations as well. We assist with applications and just identifying the funding sources, restrictions. We track and submit claims. We support and organize audits, both program and financial. We manage the closeouts and prepare and file the CFA at year end. We assist with projects, both general fund and capital projects. We work with departments such as facilities on procurement, the RFPs, RFQs, also IT, for the major projects that we need to procure. We do the project tracking, which includes making sure that we are filing the retainage and other sub-completions and making sure that they're all closed out properly. For budget, we prepare the annual budget and forecast, monitoring current balances, and we reconcile monthly to the Yakima County treasurers, as well as the ESD for our F-197. For financial, we prepare our financial statements. We oversee our annual SAO audits and reporting. We manage all the revenue and expenditures. We oversee all of our financial software, JEs, just to make sure that everything is being used in a responsible way. We're currently focusing on finalizing our audit for the 24-25 school year. Audits run a year behind. We will have our exit conference tomorrow, but everything seemed to have gone well. We're utilizing the new InTouch Pay web-based platform system. We're training staff and just becoming familiar with it. It's quite different from our old desktop version. We're working with the vendor a lot more because they're managing it on their site, and so it's taking a little bit extra time just working out all the kinks, but it's going well. We're working to deploy point of sale credit card readers at all building locations. Athletics has been using them, but they were on back order for quite a while, and so we're finally receiving them. and working with IT to get all the compliance in order for that, and just making sure that we have all the training documents for when we disperse the devices to those users. We are adding a platform for CTE on the student side, so that it can sync with our InTouch receiving software. In the past, they were using QuickBooks, and so this be a little bit streamline things in regards to our receiving process for that. And then we are implementing the new requirements for tax reporting for overtime. The changes are gonna take effect with our 2026 W-2 reporting. And so we are working on getting that all in place. And we are as well implementing some new guidance for procurement for our updated guidance from the auditors. We had just went through and updated our policies, but there are some new things that are coming, that will be upcoming, and so they're just recommending that we go through and update them now versus later. Upcoming, we are preparing for the 26-27 annual budget and the 4-year forecast. And then from there, we're gonna be setting up for the new school year and completing the year-end forecast or the year-end closeout for the 25-26 fiscal year. And then after that, we're just continuing to work with directors and staff to identify some potential funding sources that we may no longer be receiving. Just as an example, our CTE director, he's applying for an aerospace grant with Boeing that we previously received through OSPI, and with funding being cut, just trying to see if we can utilize all of our grants and as allowable, just utilize all that funding that we can and find some other sources to make up for that. And then we'll continue to collaborate with departments on just purchasing and building construction projects. Our child nutrition department, they received a $96,000 grant from OSPI to do a new walk-in freezer. So about the summertime, we'll start working on that project as well. And then we'll just continue just staying current and implementing the new compliance and regulations as they come along. And it seems we've implemented quite a few changes over the past few years, so hopefully it kind of quiets down a little bit. And then just we'll be participating in professional development this May is WASBO, and all the finance staff will be attending, so looking forward to that. And then just trying to make sure that we're also aware of any other accounting changes and training opportunities that's offered. And as Jeremy said, just maintaining vigilance against the fraudulent activity. We've seen an increase in attacks for invoice scams and direct deposit attacks. So I don't have a lot. Payroll or finance kind of seems to revolve in the same type of activity. So that's about all I have. So
Thank you. Questions?
Thank you, Candy. I think have you been in this role about a year now? Is that right?
Sheila Wood was the prior finance director, and she retired in October.
October. It's not even a year. Okay.
Yeah,
but I knew.
I've been with the district since 2017 in the finance office. I also assisted in other areas of HRs like contracts and benefits, so I'm pretty familiar with that side as well.
Well, I was just gonna say, I know Ryan has shared it, but he said you've done a great job stepping into the role. Anyways, your reputation.
Thank you, I appreciate it. This is actually my first time doing a presentation.
Yeah, well done. And I also just wanted to highlight, I know the high school, especially Kristen Johnson and the work she does with all the fundraising through the concession sales. She was really hoping to get the credit card usage. And so your leadership to make that happen, I know is very much appreciated by the high school.
I had a question for the board, in regards to the exit audit tomorrow. I was planning on jumping on, but I want to make sure there's only two of us.
I have the same question.
I didn't know.
I was planning on it, but if the others of you want to do it, I was at the entry, so if you both want to go to the exit, that's fine.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll take it.
You both do? Okay,
That's fine.
I will jump out.
Yeah, I don't have to. I just didn't
What's
want
that?
to.
No, I'm fine. We'll get a report anyway,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, so if
Okay.
you guys are doing it, I will
Can you send us
scratch
the
it off
Zoom
my
link?
calendar.
Okay, thank you. Chair.
I have a question, oh, I'm
Send-
sorry.
send us. I-
I have a question. I don't know who it goes to. I was looking today at our policies and is there an internal control policy that is in your office or do we have that? And also fraud risk policy? Or is that something I can find out about? I was looking in our policies today, just sort of, we have so many, I was skimming
Right.
through them. And I didn't see anything called like an internal control policy. So just wondering how we maintain our internal controls.
Would
It's
that
probably
be
under
like a
the,
checks and balance policy?
Yeah, just internal controls about who, you have to have multiple people instead of one person doing the same thing. And there's usually policies
Right.
that are called internal control
yeah,
policies.
the 6,000 series has the management of the district. So go ahead, Candy.
And then also compliance with SAO in regards to segregation of duties. So we get a lot of our information and directions from the SAO. And then as well as following OSPI regulations and our
Okay.
county manual and stuff. But the state auditors is the one that provides all the information in regards to how to segregate duties properly, especially if you're short-staffed.
Yeah.
So SAO is the
Okay.
state auditor's office.
Yeah.
And then maybe share just a little bit more about the accounting manual that's from OSPI.
Oh, sure.
So-
So, OSPI, they are the one who, creates and disperses the accounting manual for all the school districts. And it provides, information in regards to how to manage all of our funding, which is our general fund, ASB, capital, transportation, and, any other private purpose funds, but we don't have those. And it just tells you exactly, like, where you could expect to have things coded to as far as where your expenditures are being done, the revenue, they give you accounts, for properly recording revenue, depending on who it's from or, what it's for. And, they also give information in regards to, say, our SEPA and then, just a lot of like journal entries if you need to reference anything like that. So they're the ones that write that documentation. They as well will send out updates if when they're making any new changes for school districts.
In the accounting manual, so when, for example, an account code, every one of those numbers means something, and it's the accounting manual that you go back to. So when sometimes we're wondering, well, how should this be coded? And we go back to the accounting manual and it gives all the definitions of all the different account codes right there. So it's not every district kind of making it up. It's, you're using the accounting manual from OSBI.
Yeah, we will follow the account code structure. We are able to create some subsets, which is what we do. For example, the accounting manual will say all supplies are a 5610, but we break ours out a little bit further if we want to know parts, say for facilities or tires, or if we want to track like IT, computers, or child nutrition, food. They also have theirs broken out a little bit further. So what we do is we usually will just roll those up when we're doing our annual reporting for those. So.
I have a question. Do we have an overall maintenance break fix capital fund, or is it each, like IT have their own and facilities has their own, or is there an overall, like, for large items?
Oh, sure. So, depending on the cost of the item, and whether it's being paid from, general fund or capital, the new threshold is $10,000 for capitalized items. So not every department has their own budget, for, capitalized items. They get their annual budget and then it's up to, their determination to, utilize those funds based off of what, they're needing to to spend for the year.
So for under 10K,
For under 10K.
but for over 10K, is there an overall district list of like priorities of things that need to be replaced?
So we don't have like a list as far as when we're coding to our capitalized items. It does say what can be coded there, but we do have our capital projects fund, which is different than our general fund, and that's when it's more construction based, and so then you would code things there. We do have our projects that we do focus on, like Blake was saying, their list, some of those things would fall under capital projects, like the junior high piping project. And then we would code, that type of construction to, that fund.
So does that just come up like on an annual basis when you're budgeting?
Yeah, so what we'll do is when we're creating the budget, we'll go through and we'll highlight all of our projects and the funding remaining. For example, we did have like bond funding, and then we had state match, and then we also had our local construction funding, which is when we would move our money from general to capital. And so from there, that's when we would make a list of the projects that we would want to focus on.
Okay, so it's kind of based on what's left over, not an annual prioritization. Because we have things come up every year that are like need to be replaced, but they're not really forecasted, right? It's just like wait for the break and then find the money.
Yeah,
Is that kind
so
of the
I
plan?
think the long range planning committee, I think they kind of look
Yeah,
to
okay.
to create that list of items that we would want to focus on, and then of course if there's emergency items, then of course we would need to focus on that.
Right, yeah, I'm thinking more of the break, not the replacement of,
Sure.
and maybe Ryan.
Yeah, and we spoke about this actually
Yeah.
through the levy process too, about designating some dollars
Right,
to go into the capital projects funds, not only for upgrades that we are nice to have and we want to upgrade, but also for those rainy day funds. And Peter was a big part of that conversation as well. And so, but one of the things, as we put it into the budget, just because there's a lot of flexibility here and there. And so if we have a certain dollar amount for some projects or fixes or rainy day fund, we would want to try to get more toward the end of the fiscal year to see where we're at financially
Okay.
before we pull the trigger.
Okay.
And then also within that capital projects, we do have line items, for example, the turf we know for the soccer football field complex, we know that needs to be replaced every 10 years. And so there is a line item for 100,000 a year is going to be put into that line item so that when we 9 years from now, because we've already started that,
Yeah.
9 years from now, there'll be
I
money.
mean, I guess ideally you would look at how much did we spend on average every year over the last 10 years on maintenance, and over 10, over the threshold and items that came up that were broken and had to be replaced right away, and forecast for that.
I would imagine that would probably be more department oriented.
Well, not if it's capital. Yeah, because the departments don't have the capital budget separately is what I'm hearing. So,
So I think there's a coordinated effort, I guess, between, facilities, Ryan, finance, just to identify, Peter, of course, to identify, those projects that might require a focus and,
right,
which ones that we would prioritize as far as, what we would plan to, repair, and Blake and Jack, they do a very good job of making sure that they're keeping track of, everything that we can focus on as well.
You're talking about the stuff they don't know that's coming.
right.
Right.
I'm just saying, we
Yeah.
have stuff come up every
Yeah.
year, so it would be a little more, less reactive and more proactive to put that in the budget. But, yeah, so, thank you. Sorry to drill you.
It's a good question. Any other questions? Thank you. Thank you so much. It is 6:48, and I'm going to adjourn this study session, and we will start our regular board meeting at 7 o'clock.